everyone. So today I'm in Derbyshire and that means two things. So the good thing is that there is a very old mine which is hiding sort of behind somewhere there. So potentially it's a very old mine, so potentially we'll find you know, hand-picked workings, coffin levels and a lot of other strange things. The other thing though is that because we're in Derbyshire, that means that it's going to be painful. Derbyshire's really difficult and it's really muddy, so it's going to be, yeah, I'm ready for some hardships. And I've got my waders on, so that means that, yeah, it's going to be wet. Yay! So I don't know where exactly this mine is, but I think it's in the area somewhere really close by, so it's just going to be the case of, you know, look around and try and find it. This looks quite a mine-like entry. I mean, this would be far too easy, but this does look very mine-like. Look at that cut in the rocks. I mean, if this isn't a mine, then God knows what it is. Oh, and I can feel, right, so I can feel cold air even before I see the mine entry, even before I see the adit. Yay! It's like there's nothing like it. I think of all the mining things, of all the experience, my favourite thing is always finding the adit. So just feeling that cold air and that, you know, just not knowing what lies beneath, under, up ahead. So, but yeah, let's have a look at the adit. It's pretty. It's very square. So all being well, this adit is about 300 meters long. So there's a lot packed in a fairly small area. So that's really encouraging. I don't think I'll be going underground. It's sort of down the winds because I haven't got a rope. But you know, we expect to see cave pearls and all sorts of things. So hold your breath. So far it looks really civilized. I mean, obviously it's very, very low. I don't know if you can see that. It's well over knees water, but just sort of mid-thigh depth. So yeah, it's very, very civilized. You know, I quite like the clean water when you wade these places. You can really see what's underfoot. You can see straight away, actually. I was talking about cave pearls. You can see straight away, I'm blasting them too much, but they're almost like forming. I know these aren't sort of cave pearls, they're not separate from each other, but the growth's almost like made up of lots of mini cave pearls. So I've just realised that I've forgotten my knee pads once again, 2 days in a row. So I feel like I need another holiday to heal my bruises. Well, what do we see here? It's a coffin level, so obviously it's been driven that way, so driven inwards, as we can see from the grooves here. They sort of sweep downwards, so this is where the pick would have swept that way, so they're just driving it in. I'm not sure about the entry there, sort of that looks like it's been blasted. Yeah, there's clear shot holes there. So that means it's been widened a bit later. But fortunately they preserved a little coffin section here, perhaps because it was a bit wider. But yeah, really nice. This is like a proper coffin level. Maybe a bit later, maybe this is more like a, you know, I know people say this mine could be very old, but judging by the height of it, to me this strikes me more of like a later coffin level, maybe the beginning, well, could even be like early sort of 1800s. Who knows? Yeah, hand-picked sections even here, and it would have taken them a very long time to pick it that way. And actually straight away here, so on the floor, and I've never seen it anywhere else where there would be such a overgrowth of cave pearls. We'll see a lot better ones, but look at those. I don't know if in a video you can see how sparkly this rock is. I guess it's just a case of shining the light a little bit. But yeah, you should be able to pick that up. It just sparkles and it's just really calcite, but it's got something else because normally it doesn't do that. Maybe a bit of zinc, I don't know, it's quite hard to tell the two apart. Zinc tends to be really white. Yeah, maybe it's hydrogen. Well, whoever, probably the miners, backfilled that little tunnel, it sort of looks crawlable, but I'm hoping to avoid offshoots like that today after yesterday's bruising. Oh look, there's a little gower pool. Isn't that lovely? Oh, but I'm gonna have to go somewhere because both ways are really crawly. Yeah, I don't want to ruin these little pools. But oh, that's a lot of water. Oh my god. Am I supposed to go in there? Yeah. Oh, it's a good test for the waders. Oh, but this is nice. This is nice actually. Okay, so it's a bit deeper than I thought, but it's actually a lot taller than I thought. Oh, this is like, you know, you glide through water and then you arrive to this portal to enter. Just before we do you see how, you got to give credit to these old miners. Do you see how they spotted a little vein here and they just mined it out, I think, because what else could it be? And up ahead as well, yeah, there's quite a few things. That's where it came from. So you can see the water's actually not too bad. It's over waist deep, but it's quite civilized. And now we can actually enter through this portal if I don't fall over here. We might even see what it looks like. So this is really, it's the only place that I have seen, well, I am seeing now, I've not been here before, but where I've seen, so do you see, they're like what we call stemples, so they're like timber, not timber, well, in this case they're stone. Normally they're made out of timber, in this case they're made out of stone. And they're the supports, but they've been completely subsumed, they've been overgrown with calcite flow. And it just forms this sort of, you know, semi-man-made and semi-natural formation, which, you know, it's so unique. I've never seen anywhere else. And you can see these teeth that they form. I mean, isn't that exquisite? And look at these growths in there. Aren't they pretty? I'm less into caving, I'm all about mines, but when you see things like that, you just think, wow, nature's amazing. It just, you know, the man will make things, will create things like that, and the nature just takes it back. It just hides it, reclaims it, and then eventually, as if it's never been there, never existed. So there's all sorts here, really. I don't know what this, it sort of looks almost like a pipe. In there, and I'm not sure, yeah, it's a bit confusing, maybe as well as this one, and it's kind of hard to tell if it's more modern or if it's something that's been here for a while. But look at those, I mean, oh yeah, I think they're the modern supports that maybe the explorers, yeah, tried to wedge them. Unless, no, this looks, it could be quite old as well, looking at these nails. Looks like they are sheets of wood, well, planks of wood covered in sheet metal. So, yeah, I don't know, but whatever that metal and wood is completely disintegrating in this mine with all the minerals. So it hasn't quite worked. Oh, look at this little secret pool. It's really all sorts. And look at these cave pearls just growing. They're just kind of, well, they're not pearls, but they're growing out of the wall. I wonder what is it here that makes it that way, because this is not that common, you know. You see these sort of growths, but not to that extent. It's beautiful. And again, really sparkly in places. Wonderful. This could get me into caving, pretty much. Still, I'll always prefer mines. Well, so we have to leave that beautiful hole full of calcite and see what else we can find in this unusual mine. Okay. Oh, there we go. So we've got some pebbles. They're kind of cave pearl-like. Not quite. It's a bit rough. I always like to joke with people that when, you know, if you walk over cave pearls, they sort of crunch underfoot. But these are rough, really. They're not proper things. So someone's removed one, and they're quite, I don't know how to put it, they're sort of a bit, oh, the light's really poor now. So they're sort of like, they're a bit kind of made out, sort of composite, made out of lots of tiny little grains. Yeah, not a true cave pearl, but, and also really huge, you know. So, but let's have a look at this. I mean, why is it so square? I'm gonna sort of film from far because I want to walk around it rather than just over it. So the angle might not be the best, but it's sort of square. I can't see. I can't even see if there's a sleeper. It's possible. Yeah, you know, the square pattern is actually everywhere. I don't know why they're so square. Yeah, interesting. This seems to be the way. Right, it's going to be a poor footage here because I'm trying to avoid them. Yeah, so there's more of that patch wall. It's a bit treacherous. There's a piece of timber just kind of wedged in with all the stones casually as well, just for the fun of it. But there's more growth up ahead. Yeah, very overgrown, this mine. So I don't know why. I've never sort of really understood why they used to use stone rather than timber. So where we saw those supports, it must be a Derbyshire signature thing. Oh, look at these tiny pockets full of tiny particles. But here we're going to see some proper cave pearls, like proper real deal. You see how they're round and they're small. That's what cave pearls should be. It's like a cave pearl walkway as they crunch underfoot. I'm not going to walk over them, but don't worry. And there's more of these teeth. So as we crunch over pearls, I can tell you more about this this place. So there was a guy called Gel, or maybe Gel, I don't know how you call him, and essentially he named this road, this ancient road, Via Gellia. So it's a bit like, it's essentially a rip-off, as it was very common for mines. After the famous Roman Via Appia, or Via Appia, so he named it Via Gellia. So, you know, you could have aspirations like that to build an area named after you. And essentially there's some of the oldest adits in the area are called after this chap. So, you know, you've got the Gels adit, you've got this level here, and there's a lot of stuff on Via Gellia, including this one, which is so unique, with all the growths and just such abundance of cave pearls. And actually here, other than the fact that the cave pearls, they just carry on, you know, they just go on and on and on. And you can see where people have tried to walk around it, but then eventually just gave up and just walked all over them. But you can see there's a bit of timber here, so it's the wrong way for it to be a sleeper. But maybe, oh, I've just noticed, yeah, on the other side as well, they're the primitive wooden rails, which we saw in another adit. If you look at Stone Stemple's video, again, we've got the same thing. And I know someone commented saying maybe they were raised supports and then normal sleepers would run on top of them, but that's not the case in this. You know, see how narrow they are, and they just run exactly as rails. You know, that's what they were. Right, so anyone needs cave pearls? Shall I pick up a couple for you? They're not actually very pretty if you look at them, you know. I know we call them pearls. They're just rocks that have been encased in calcite, so they're not special. I'm not going to be asking for a necklace of cave pearls for my birthday. Although, maybe. Yeah, there's been some support building there, I guess. Oh, it's a little bit unstable. You just never know. But I guess this calcite, all this flow, it kind of solidifies things. You know, I've seen in other places where, whether it be calcite or iron deposits, sometimes they completely get the ladders stuck and sort of flow over them, and everything gets fixed in place, which can be quite useful when you think about it. Oh, that's a nice example. Sort of got a little bit curved. I think someone must have knocked it over there, and then it just carried on growing, as you do. So just up ahead of, just from the walkway, up from the cave pearls, there's actually a a rise you would call it, that goes up. And I can't see, you know, this is not the sort of thing you could climb, although I know a few people who would, but I'm not going to do it. And yeah, it just goes, I can't see if there's a level there, maybe. Or perhaps there was an upper adit back in the day. Yeah, this whole thing on the right, it looks like a pack wall, or perhaps just this little section. Lots of rocks just wedged like that. Why do they form teeth? Literally teeth. Look at them. Why do they do that? Does anyone know? Sort of like little layers. And there, I think that's hydrozincite actually. Sometimes, I mean, it could be both, but because the bigger flow is definitely calcite, but no, maybe this is calcite. Yeah, sort of translucent. Hydrozincite tends to be really white. We see a lot of that in mid Wales. There is just calcite. Oh, but that's quite nice actually. Yeah, quite pure. So, oh, but that goes in. I kind of somehow I had this down as being a really tiny little adit, but it goes in a fair way. Yet another gower pool. So these stone stemples are starting here up ahead again. Haven't been grown over, but I don't know. They must have been so heavy. You know, these poor miners. They had to lift them up somehow, hoist them up, and then just wedge them in, you know, always at risk of, and they clearly wedged them in well, those old miners, because they're still here, although perhaps not here. Gotta give them credit though. Look at these gower pools. It's like an entire walkway of gower pools. I need to be careful here. And look, tiny bits of cave pearls in them. Yeah. So this turns out to be a really civilized, really ladylike explore, like I call it. Yes, there's a bit of water, but other than that, it's really easy going. Because, you know, it's not all about suffering sometimes, although there's a lot of it in mining. But yeah, I can pretty much walk normal here. And is that the end? No, that's not the end. There's a shaft coming up, a winds, but I haven't got ropes, and I don't know if there are any bolts here either, so I don't think this is happening today. See that? Yeah. Ooh, don't fall down that. Yeah, again, it's weird. It kind of looks like a climbing shaft, or maybe they were drawing kibbles through here, because it's not, you know, they didn't have any machinery here. This is an old mine, so it's all quite rough. And oh, it's slightly packed. That wall there is slightly packed. I love that when they do that. Yeah, I do wonder what's down there. Just shimmy over this one. There's a, what's that? That's not an actual level, is it? Is it? No. It's tiny. But yeah, what's down the winds? No one has bolted it, I don't think. But I guess you could just rig it off like that pile of rubble. You could rig off that, or maybe that bigger rock out there. I think that could work. Just to give you a bit of a hand line if you needed to. It's not actually very deep either. Yeah, it's the sort of thing, you know, if you really wanted to, you could wedge climb downwards, but I'm on my own. I don't want to do it. Crazy. Yeah, nice level. And this level essentially would have been driven along the vein. So it's the sort of old style mine where wherever you drive the level, that's where your vein is. You just follow it, and then maybe slide some crosscuts coming off, you know, off the sides where you think might be more vein. A bit like that one. Oh my God! But look at that. It's sort of. Oh, I'm interested in that. It kind of. What's that wall? Is that an old coffin level there? Can you see that there? Ooh. So I've crawled through this thing. I had a bit of a moment thinking, ugh, do I really want to do it? But yes, I do. So there's some nice calcite crystals, actually crystallized calcite, which is always nice to find. And I think, yeah, so I think it is a bit of a coffin level. Oh yeah, there's some pick marks actually, really fresh, probably because not many people come here, and it's just this, there's just less of that flow, less water. It's sort of like a coffin level that has been covered in calcite flow, but you can still see a bit of structure in the roof. And I think, is that a dead end? It's very tall though, so clearly this is it either fell, collapsed, or there was not a lot of actual material, so a lot of lead. Oh, okay, yeah. So I think there's been a fall, but also they probably left a lot of the material and just backfilled it. So yeah, it just ends up a spiky mess up ahead there. But no, this is curious. Yeah, so on one side they just use the natural weakness in the rock, and the rest you can see really from here. Just mined out, picked out by hand. So does the mine go further? Yes, it does. I can't believe how long this is. Oh look, people have been building things out of clay. Oh, I wonder whether they were men or women. Let me guess. They were men. Seriously, guys, like, you really haven't got anything else on your mind. Oh, there used to be a passage there. Oh, that's a nice back wall bulging out. Wow, look at that. That's a pillar. Wow. Okay. So, I think... Okay, so is this the end then of this one? Little offshoot. No, it carries on. All this rubble, they're wonderful. Why is it like that? Oh look, someone's crashed all the cave pearls by walking over them. Oh no. And a few more gower pools, and I think that is a dead end. So we'll have a look at the other. Well, last little crosscut. little drift probably. Rain. Oh, but this is actually a really nice looking one, and you can see definitely here there was a proper rail in place. Yes, the sleepers had been taken out, but you can really see where they were. So yeah, and again it's reasonably tall, very narrow as it was customary. So really when it's so narrow, sometimes you can see where the cart rubbed onto the sides a little bit. Oh, hello. Okay, yeah, this is really tall, very diagonal. Ah, that's a big collapse. Yes. Okay. And it keeps going. Even this little crosscut keeps going, and it gets really small at the end of it. You have to walk folded into half. Oh, wow. Didn't expect this at all. Ah, okay. No, does that still go? Oh, okay. Looks like people have even dug. Oh no, maybe there's a crawl through there. Yes, it's not a crawl, it's a rise. It goes up. Can you see that? Yeah, so maybe there was a level up on top. Because otherwise how... Yeah, so this is definitely the end of this one. Oh, Jesus. Guys, what's happening? Okay, well, in that case, I think it's time to commence the journey home. Long, long walk out now, out of this beautiful place. Well, thanks for watching. So I'm back out safely, and thanks for joining me in this Derbyshire Mine Explore. That was actually really nice and easy, but you know, going in there without the waders, it would be quite unpleasant because there's a lot of water in some places, and you know you do get soaked well over waist deep. So, but other than that, good explore, and stay well, and I'll catch up with you soon. But bye for now. Bye.